For the definitional part of unemployment, I cannot give you any reference. So please try to note down what I'm saying or what is there in the slide carefully. Okay. So I'll divide the class into two parts. First, I'll start with unemployment, the definitional parts, and then I'm going to go to the discuss some issues relating to the project assignment. Okay. Now, all of you know how we define unemployment. By unemployed, we mean people who are not working but seeking work. So, for instance, if your mother is a housewife, she is not working, gainfully employed, but she is not seeking work either. Your grandparents, most of your grandparents, will also be retired. They are not working but not seeking work. So these people are not unemployed, considered to be unemployed. Now, when we are talking, referring to unemployment, we also have frictional unemployment. That is, people are employed but seeking work. They have not found work or something. They are in the process of shifting from one job to another. So this is referred to as frictional unemployment. Now, when we are trying to find out who are the persons who are unemployed, then Sen has argued that we can adopt two approaches, a recognition approach and an income approach. So in the recognition approach, I'm not satisfied with my current work. I don't feel that it is of enough value. And in case of income approach, the focus is on income. I feel that if I feel that I'm not generating any uh, income or any utility from the work, then I'm unemployed. So obviously there are some very tricky issues over here. That suppose you're in the household economy, you're working in the household enterprise, and you don't get any income. In a household enterprise, suppose there are certain 5, 6 people, family members. A very common work is that BD rolling. You make the BDs, or you may make the thongas, the paper bags. What happens is, although 5, 6 people participate, uh, the family member, one member, goes and sells it and brings back the money. So it is not really an individual income. So if anyone asks how much money you're earning, it's quite possible that you're going to say that I'm not earning any income. So in this case, will you consider that person to be unemployed? This becomes a bit of a tricky job. Then secondly, if you're talking about housewives, I mean, if you ask the housewife that are you the homemaker, that are you doing anything, she would say no, I'm unemployed. But actually, she is doing a lot of work, and if she did not do it, then you would have to hire someone who does the work for you, but for money. So the work that she is doing has a market value, but because she's not getting it, because she's doing it only for her own family, she may feel that she is not a worker. So there are some tricky issues in defining who is unemployed, who is working, who is unemployed, and so on, and who is a non-worker. Okay, so you have the population can be divided into three parts: non-worker, a person who is neither working nor seeking work; unemployed, a person who is seeking work; and employed, a person who is working. Now, another important distinction is between the labor force and the workforce. When we are defining the labor force, we include people. Sorry, just 1 second, please. আচ্ছা আচ্ছা। হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে। আহ, আজকে তো আজকে। আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে, আমরা একটু পরে ফোন করে নিচ্ছি, আমরা এখন কাজ করছি। হ্যাঁ, আমি একটু পরে তোমাকে ফোন করে নিচ্ছি, একটার পরে। হ্যালো। So the labor force comprises of people who want to work. Their desire may be satisfied so that they are employed, or they may be unemployed also. So labor force comprises of people who are either employed plus people who are unemployed. The workforce, on the other hand, comprises of people who are employed, who are working, engaged in productive activity. So, in fact, over here, sorry, there is another generating income or engaged in. So, when we look at workforce or labor force, we get a huge number and we don't know whether it is good or bad. So, generally, what we do is we convert it into a ratio form, labor force ratio or workforce ratio. The denominator is the people in the age group 15 to 60, or it may be 65, even sometimes 70 years is taken. So that means the labor force participation ratio, LFPR, is number of people who are employed plus number of people who are unemployed divided by number of people in the age group 15 to, well, whatever you take. You can take any 60 to 75. Obviously, we will not take 62 or 63, but whatever you take, you should always define. That is one. And secondly, you should always make it consistent. So if you're doing an analysis, then in the first slide you can't take 60, in the second slide you take 65, third slide you take 70. You can't do this. Take 60 or take 65, keep it throughout your analysis. Now, there are two important sources of uh, unemployment. One is the census, the other is the National Sample Survey Office. See, what an NSSO, it's called NSSO in short. What the NSSO does is uh, they conduct periodic surveys. Now, these surveys can be divided into two groups. One is called the large sample survey, which is undertaken every 5 years, and the other survey is the called the small sample. The large sample has two questionnaires. One is Schedule 1, in which details about the household expenditure on different items is collected. And I will show you the second schedule, which is Schedule 10, in which details about the family, who are the family members. Oh God, it was মিউটেড হয়ে গেছিল না? তোমরা কখন থেকে শুনতে পাওনি?
So when you switched over to the second slide.
ও বাবা, এই প্রবলেমটা না খুব হচ্ছে আমার এখানে। মানে এখানে তোমরা ওই লেবার ফোর্স পার্টিসিপেশন, ওয়ার্ক ফোর্স পার্টিসিপেশন দুটোই বুঝেছিলে তো? ডেফিনিশনটা
Yes.
দিয়েছিলাম।
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So then I said that you have two sources of unemployment data. One is the census, which is undertaken for the entire population, but it is undertaken every 10 years. The other source of unemployment data is the National Sample Survey Office, what is called in short NSS or NSSO. Now, the NSSO conducts two surveys. One is a major survey, or what is called the large sample survey. This is conducted every 5 years. Okay. So it was conducted in 2011. Let me see, it was conducted in 2004-5. Then it was conducted in just so it was conducted in 2004-5. Then it was supposed to be conducted in 2009-10, and it was conducted in that year. But the problem was that 2009-10 was a drought year. So as a result of this, the information is not very reliable or representative. So it was decided to scrap that round, and people felt that okay, there's no point in using this information. So we don't use the NSSO round for the 2009-10. Instead, another survey was undertaken in 11-12, the 68th round. And this round is used for analysis. After that, when was the election? 2019. So there was a study in around 2017. And you know what happened, that in the 2017 round, it was found that unemployment rates had gone down. And the government immediately suppressed the report and data. After that, before that, it was very easy to get NSSO data, and we used it a lot. But after this, the government just stopped giving out the NSSO data. So that there was no research on the state of the Indian economy under the current government. Okay. So anyway, let's so as I've said, the NSSO conducts two types of survey. One is the large sample, conducted every 5 years, and using that survey, we calculate poverty, inequality, and unemployment. We can also do other types of studies using it. In between, they conduct what is called small sample surveys. These are on specific issues. Like we have surveys on health, there's a survey on education, we have surveys on migration, and so on. These are conducted with a smaller sample, and although they have information on expenditure, they are not generally used for poverty, etc. Okay. Now, let me show you the NSSO questionnaire. This is the 61st round, 2004-5, Schedule 10, Employment and Unemployment. Okay, so in the first page, they have some basic features. These are mainly for the staff. Then we have variables like household characteristics, household size, what is the social group, that is the caste, we have religion, these are the different land possessed, and important, the monthly household consumption expenditure. This is for the entire household. And the information is collected in a very detailed manner using another questionnaire, schedule 2. Okay, indebtedness is not very important. Then you have what is called the household roster. The household roster, yeah, one second. হ্যাঁ ওটা পাল্টে দিই। হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ একবার দেখুন। So if the microphone suddenly gets muted, just let me know, please. Okay, so over here we put down the names of the persons. Then how is the person related to the head, son, wife, uncle, whatever, the gender, age, marital status, education. So we have different information over here, the household roster. By the way, do you know the difference between a schedule and a questionnaire? I'll give you a hint. This is a schedule. These are all schedules. শুনতে পাচ্ছ তো তোমরা?
Yes, sir.
হ্যাঁ, schedule and questionnaire. What are the difference?
Sir, like I'll make a guess. So,
Yeah.
for a questionnaire, the participants in the survey are asked to respond, and for a schedule, are the specifics for these participants already noted down? Something to do with that?
No, it's a good try, and it's not too off the mark.
স্যার
হ্যাঁ বলো।
স্যার শিডিউল মেথডে কি মানে অফিসিয়ালরা গিয়ে নিজে ফিল আপ করে আর কোয়েশ্চেনারটা মানে রেসপন্ডেন্টরা ফিল আপ করতে লাগে এরকম কিছু?
Again it's close. না,
Sir,
সব
in
দুটোতেই
schedule-
যেটা হয় যে একটা ফিল্ড স্টাফ যায়, সাপোজ হি গোজ টু ইয়ার হাউস অ্যান্ড হি ফিলস আপ দ্য ডেটা।
শিডিউলটা কি টেবিলে হয় আর ওটা কোশ্চেনটা এমনি কোশ্চেন হয়?
আচ্ছা, আমি তোমাকে একটা কোয়েশ্চেনার দেখাচ্ছি।
স্যার শিডিউলে কোশ্চেন আনসারস থাকে মানে আর কোশ্চেন
দাঁড়া একটা কোয়েশ্চেনার দেখো। এইখানটা দেখো। What is your age? What is your years of schooling? What is your religion? আর এইখানে কি হচ্ছে? Relation to head, sex, age, marital status, educational level এখানে। আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে। এনিওয়ে ইউ ওয়ে নট টু ফার অফ দ্য মার্ক। এখানেও দেখো ইটস ইউ হ্যাভ ভেরি প্রেসাইজ ফলো আপ কোয়েশ্চেন্স। এখানেও দেখো। আচ্ছা, ইন আ শিডিউল the blank tables or whatever is there in a schedule, the field staff is told what information is to be collected. Okay, so for instance he can ask এখানে household size He can ask, আপনাদের বাড়িতে কতজন আছে? ঠিক আছে? কেউ কেউ বলে যে আপনাদের এই বাড়িতে যে ভাত রান্না হয় সেই ভাত কতজন খায়? So you can ask the question in any way, in different forms. Or what you can do is you can ask the question, you can obtain the information through 2 or 3 questions. আপনাদের বাড়িতে কতজন থাকে? তুমি বললে যে 10 persons. এরা সবাই আছে না কেউ কেউ বাইরে থাকে? আর যারা বাইরে থাকে তারা কি সপ্তাহের শেষে চলে আসে না একদম 3 মাস 6 মাস? So in this way he tries to find out what is the family size. Okay. Achha. When you are asking the age over here, you can ask আপনার বয়স কত, বা আপনার জানুয়ারি মাসে কত বয়স ছিল, বা আপনি কোন সালে জন্মেছিলেন, and then he calculates. But here the precise form of the question is given. So you have to go up and ask, what is your age in completed terms? आपकी उम्र क्या है? This is in Bihar. So you have to ask in Hindi. You can't ask आप किस साल में आप पैदा हुए थे. You can't ask that. You have to ask the precise question. आपका उम्र क्या है? Okay. So in a questionnaire, questions are asked. The precise form of the question is given. In schedule, only the information that you have to collect is given. You can obtain the information in any way that you like. However, people are given a training so that they know what you mean by family, etc. There are many issues over here. If a person comes back every month, will you consider him to be a part of the family or not? It depends on the purpose of the survey. Okay, so one is schedule and questionnaire. A very common part of both schedule and questionnaire is what we call the household roster, where you list down all the members of the household and some general details about these household members. Okay, is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, after asking the household roster,
কোয়েশ্চেন মানে আউটডোর রোস্টার যেটা বলছেন সেটা মানে কোয়েশ্চেন গুলোই আউটডোর রোস্টার।
সেকেন্ড পার্টটা বলে সেখানে
না মানে
কোয়েশ্চেন গুলোই
আউটডোর রোস্টার
হ্যাঁ।
কিনা
হ্যাঁ,
ওগুলো
না আমি তোমার কোয়েশ্চেনটা বুঝতে পারলাম না।
হ্যাঁ মানে আমি বলছি যে এই যে কোয়েশ্চেন গুলো আছে ধরুন সেগুলোই কি হাউসহোল্ড রোস্টার?
মানে এই টেবিলটাকে আমরা হাউসহোল্ড রস্টার বলছি।
পুরো টেবিলটা?
হ্যাঁ, মানে যেখানে হাউসহোল্ডে কতজন মেম্বার তাদের আইডেন্টিফাই করা হয় আর তাদের সম্বন্ধে কিছু বেসিক ডিটেলস নোট করা হয়। ঠিক আছে, অল হাউসহোল্ড মেম্বার্স আর কভার্ড ইন দিস রস্টার। এইখানে যেমন দেখো, হোয়াট ইজ ইয়োর এজ বলতে আমি তোমার এজটাই বলছি, একই ইনফরমেশন কালেক্ট করছি, এজ, ইয়ার্স অফ স্কুলিং, রিলিজন, কাস্ট, কিন্তু এখানে আমরা জাস্ট তোমাকে জিজ্ঞেস করছি। আর হাউসহোল্ড রস্টারে প্রত্যেকটা ফ্যামিলি মেম্বারের জন্য একটা রো থাকছে। ঠিক আছে, যদি 10টা ফ্যামিলি মেম্বার থাকে 10টা রো হবে, 4টে যদি ফ্যামিলি মেম্বার হয় 4টে রো ডেটা থাকবে। আচ্ছা, দেন উই কাম টু ওভার হিয়ার দ্য ইউজুয়াল প্রিন্সিপাল অ্যাক্টিভিটি অফ হাউসহোল্ড মেম্বার্স। এটা সবাইকে জিজ্ঞেস করা হয় না, 15 to 59 যারা কাজ করছে। আচ্ছা, তারপরে দেখো ইউজুয়াল সাবসিডিয়ারি ইকোনমিক অ্যাক্টিভিটি। ইম্পর্টেন্ট হচ্ছে প্রাইমারি আর এখানে দেখো সাবসিডিয়ারি, আর এইখানে দেখো এটাকে আমরা প্রিন্সিপাল বলছি। ঠিক আছে, প্রিন্সিপাল স্টেটাস, সাবসিডিয়ারি স্টেটাস। আচ্ছা, এবার কোয়েশ্চেনটাকে যেটা ওরা করে, এইখানে একটা আইটেম দেখছো, ইউজুয়াল স্টেটাস, ইউজুয়াল প্রিন্সিপাল অ্যাক্টিভিটি, এখানে স্টেটাস কথাটা দেওয়া আছে, এখানে তোমাকে কোড দিতে হবে। দিজ আর দ্য কোডস। আচ্ছা, বিফোর কামিং টু দ্যাট জাস্ট লেট মি এক্সপ্লেন। যখন আমরা কোনো সার্ভে করি, করে তোমার একটা কিছু কোয়েশ্চেন করি, হোয়াট ইজ ইউর জেন্ডার, সাপোজ তোমার জেন্ডারটা তো চেঞ্জ করবে না হোপফুলি। হোয়াট ইজ ইউর এজ, এজটা আমি যদি জিজ্ঞেস করি হোয়াট ইজ ইউর এজ অন 1st জানুয়ারি, ঠিক আছে, দের ইজ নো প্রবলেম। কিন্তু কিছু প্রশ্ন যে আছে যেখানে যে উইচ হ্যাজ আ টাইম ডাইমেনশন। ধরো 4 বছর আগে তুমি, যদি আমি জিজ্ঞেস করি ইন উইচ ক্লাস were you studying, or how many days were you going to college, এই প্রশ্নের উত্তরটা তুমি কি দেবে? আচ্ছা, তোমাকে যদি আমি এখন জিজ্ঞেস করি তুমি তো মানে কিছু বলবে না। সো আই হ্যাভ টু ডিফাইন হোয়াট ইজ কল্ড আ রেফারেন্স পিরিয়ড, দ্য পিরিয়ড ওভার উইচ আই এম কালেক্টিং ইনফরমেশন। যেমন ধরো আমি বলতে পারি যে ইন দ্য লাস্ট উইক হাউ মেনি ক্লাসেস ডিড ইউ হ্যাভ, ঠিক আছে, তার মানে হচ্ছে স্টার্টিং ফ্রম মানডে এন্ডিং অন সানডে তোমাদের কটা ক্লাস হয়েছে। I can ask you what is the how many classes did you have in the last month, last completed month, তাহলে অক্টোবর হচ্ছে। সো ইন অক্টোবর হাউ মেনি ক্লাসেস ডিড ইউ হ্যাভ, এটা তুমি আনসার করতে পারবে। আচ্ছা, যখন এই প্রিন্সিপাল আর সাবসিডিয়ারি স্টেটাসের ওপর ইনফরমেশন চাওয়া হয়, দেন দ্য রেফারেন্স পিরিয়ড ইজ 1 year. সো দ্যাট মিনস ইউ হ্যাভ টু সে, মানে কোয়েশ্চেনটা কিছুটা এইভাবে করা হয়, what was your main activity or principal activity in the last 1 year preceding the survey. মানে আজকে আমি যদি তোমার কাছে আসি 9th November, that means starting from 8th November 21 I go back to 1 year. আমি যদি 1st January কারো কাছে যাই, তাহলে হচ্ছে 1st January to 31st December, এইটা হচ্ছে রেফারেন্স পিরিয়ড। সো দ্য exact dates, if you look at the dates, that is varying between person to person, but the period is the same, 1 year preceding the survey. আচ্ছা, এইবার depending on your answer we can code you in different ways. সেলফ এমপ্লয়েড, এগুলো হচ্ছে প্রথমে হচ্ছে, আমি একটু ভেঙে দিচ্ছি এখানে তাহলে সুবিধা হবে। ঠিক আছে, দিস ইজ হাউস হোল্ড এমপ্লয়। ওহো, এটা করা যাবে না। Let me copy and paste this in PowerPoint. Okay. So I hope you can see this table. লেখাগুলো পরিষ্কার তো? আমি আরেকটু বড় করে দিচ্ছি। ওকে, so you are asked questions that what was your principal activity over the last 1 year preceding the survey, and then you are asked questions on these parts. Your responses are coded in these following categories using 11, 12, and so on. So have a look at them and tell me how will you define the labor force. তোমরা দেখতে পাচ্ছ তো?
Yes, sir.
So tell me, how will you define what is the definition for a labor force? First, tell me the general definition. Forget about NSSO. Tell me what is a general definition of a person who is in the labor force. এটা তো
Somebody
আমি
who is employed and working at the prevailing wage rate.
No, it's wrong.
Sir, employed plus unemployed people.
Yes. So it is employed plus unemployed. আচ্ছা, unemployed এর ডেফিনিশনটা কি?
Sir, who do not have work but are willing to work.
Not working but seeking work. Workforce,
Employed.
and not working is
Labor
Yeah.
force minus workforce.
they are not employed but not seeking work either. ঠিক আছে? আচ্ছা, এইবারে বলো যে কোন কোডগুলো এখানে আসবে। ফার্স্টে বলে আনএমপ্লয়েডটা বলো। So you ask people, they give answers, and based on that, we code people as 11, 12, 21, 81, 94, 95, these numbers. So have a look, read this, and tell me what is the code for unemployed. If a person is unemployed, how is he coded?
81.
81.
Okay. So this is 81. আচ্ছা, তাহলে লেবার ফোর্সেও আমার 81 চলে আসছে। আচ্ছা, what is employed?
So 11, 21, 31, 41, 51.
ওকে, যেহেতু মুখে এমনি কিছু নেই, আমরা ডাইরেক্টলি 11 to 51 লিখে দিতে পারি। ওকে,
Yes, sir.
আচ্ছা, এইটা তাহলে হয়ে যাচ্ছে 11 to 81। তো মাইনাস ভেবে নিতে পারি। ওকে, আর নট এমপ্লয়েডটা কি হচ্ছে? নট ওয়ার্কিং।
So 95.
91 নয়?
Yes, sir, 91 as well, I think. Because, yeah, they're not seeking work either.
Yeah. So not working means that you may be engaged in something else. This is a student, for instance. Okay. Attended domestic duties only. কে হবে এটা?
Not working.
No, this is likely to be the woman in the household. If they are homemakers, if they are housewives, they will come under 92. 94 এ কারা হবে? তোমার কি কোন আত্মীয় 94 এ যাবে? এটা বলো তো, গেস করো।
Grandparents.
Grandparents. Not grandparents, grandfather. At that time, the grandmother didn't work. And I hope 97 is, well, there is a class, but begging, prostitution, it is, remember, this is earning income. But we don't consider them to be workers. Okay, so this is the definition, you can see. Let me show you other data. Okay, I'll come to that later. Okay, so the workforce will be, labor force participation ratio will be, we simply count the people who have responded 11 to 81 and we divide this by the population 15 to, well, either 60 or 65, whatever. We can take 65 if you want. Okay, so we can calculate labor force, unemployment rate, workforce in this way. Then we have the usual subsidiary status. So subsidiary is, after you have said, the first question is that what did you do? What was your main activity in the last 1 year? So you give the responses. Then you ask that apart from this, did you also do anything else? So for instance, you may be asked that, okay, what was your main activity during the last 1 year? And you will say that, well, I worked as an intern in some BPO company. And then they will, that is your principal activity. Then they will see that, okay, fine, but did you do anything else? And you will say, yes, I was also a student in Presidency University. I attended classes sometimes. That will be your subsidiary economic activity. Okay, do you understand the difference between principal and subsidiary?
আরেকবার একটু রিপিট করুন।
প্রিন্সিপালে মানে তোমাকে জিজ্ঞেস করা হচ্ছে যে লাস্ট 1 year what was your main activity? ঠিক আছে? You give your answer and it's coded as 81, 51, 71, whatever. Then you ask, apart from this main activity, did you do something else? তোমার আনসার নো হলে ইনফরমেশন রেকর্ড হবে না। ইফ ইউ সে ইয়েস, তাহলে কি করতেন আপনি? And so you give another response and then it is coded under it is called subsidiary status. So this refers to a case I mean, an example is suppose that you have a person, a student who is also working as in a part-time basis. So if you're asked, what is your main activity? You will say that I'm a student. ঠিক আছে? স্টুডেন্টটা তখন প্রিন্সিপাল অ্যাক্টিভিটি স্ট্যাটাস বলে রেকর্ড হবে। It will be recorded as 91. Then we turn over to the secondary page, the second page, where the subsidiary activity is noted. Okay, so you were a student. Apart from studying, did you do anything else? So some of you will say, no, we didn't do anything else. It's kept blank. But then someone says, no, I worked in some factory. I worked in some agency. As a salaried, I got some salary. For working in an agency, I worked just for 10, 15 days or maybe 1 day a week. In that case, you'll be classified in this section, either 31, 40, 41, whatever. Okay. So this will be then your subsidiary status. The entire thing is one of degree. What you consider to be a principal activity in which you spend the greater part of your time. Subsidiary status, did you do anything else? Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
Usual status is that when we are calculating the employment or workforce participation, we consider both the principal status and subsidiary status. Okay, the government is very clever. The government generally uses the usual subsidiary status to calculate unemployment. তার মানে হচ্ছে যে suppose you were unemployed for the greater part of the year. So you are asked, what was your principal activity status during the last 1 year? You said that I was not working, but I was seeking and available for work. Your principal status will be located as 81. Should you be considered to be unemployed in that case? Okay, in that case, will you consider him to be unemployed? তোমরা কি ঠিক ফলো করতে পারছো না কি হচ্ছে?
স্যার লাস্ট বিটটা আরেকবার রিপিট করবেন, ওটা আমি বুঝতে পারলাম না।
See, you are asked or someone is asked that what is your principal activity in the last 1 year? And he says that I was unemployed, I got thrown out of my work, I was not working, but I was simply looking for work. So what will be his code?
81.
Okay, will you consider him to be unemployed?
Yes, sir.
Acha. Then the field staff will ask, the investigator will ask him, Okay, you are unemployed throughout the year. You were looking for work. But did you do something else? And he said that, yeah, I worked as a casual worker for 5 days in the last 1 year. So in that case, you will code him as either 41 or 51, right? Now, if a person works for just 5 days on a casual basis, but is looking for work for the rest of the 361 days, what will you consider him? Employed or unemployed?
Unemployed.
Okay. But what the government does is you have to answer 81 to both of it. ওকে, তুমি যদি সাবসিডিয়ারি স্টেটাসে 11 থেকে 51 বলে দাও, তাহলে কিন্তু আর তোমাকে আনএমপ্লয়েড বলে ধরা হবে না। ওকে, so you have to answer 81, and in subsidiary status you have to answer no, I was not doing anything else, so it will be blank. Only then you will be considered to be unemployed. তুমি যদি বছরে একটা দিনও কাজ করো, you are employed. So the definition of unemployment is very strict in India. One of the most difficult things in India is to be unemployed. That is why you will see that the unemployment rates are very low. 3%, 2% এরকম একটা rate হচ্ছে. So what we do is we scale up the unemployment rate. Instead of percentage, NSSO reports per 1,000 people. Next we come to the আচ্ছা NSSO তে আরো দুটো আছে. You're asked questions on okay, today is the survey date. What did you do in the last week preceding the survey? সেখানেও তোমার স্টেটাসটা নোট করা হয়. In this case, the status is a bit, you have some more options, I think. You did not work because of sickness and so on. But basically the coding is this, pattern is the same. So you have divisions like this. So in 81, you have some more codes. But roughly, it is you're divided into employed, did not work, and non-worker. The codes are slightly different. Okay. Then you also have somewhere you have the এখানে একটা অন্য জায়গাতে তোমার একটা ডেইলি স্ট্যাটাসের একটা আগে একটা কোয়েশ্চেন ছিল, বাট ডেইলি স্ট্যাটাস ইজ নট ইউজড. We generally use the weekly status or we use the principal or usual status. Okay. So is it clear, everyone? So the NSSO collects data. You can cross out the daily status. এটা পরে ওটা ড্রপ হয়ে গেছে. The reference period can be 1 year. Based on that, we have principal status and subsidiary status. The usual status is principal status plus subsidiary status. Okay. You also have the current weekly status, the week preceding the survey. Okay. So I'll show you how it is. Can you see this data?
Yes, sir.
Take some time. Yeah, it will take some time to. আসলে র্যামটা কমে গেছে তো সেই কারণে একটু ডেটাটা আসতে দেরি হচ্ছে। ওহো, ওকে। So we have this is the principal status, okay? So can you tell me that what is the number of unemployed people?
Sir, it's 9,549, I think.
Okay. And how will you calculate the unemployment rate? What is the unemployment rate? 100 into 9549 divided by
The total, all the activity statuses, I mean, the principal activity statuses. So 602833.
okay, so it's coming to 1.5. Okay, but remember that when we are doing this, your age should be above 15 and age should be, let us say 65 is the age. Okay, so you can see that unemployment has gone down a little. So this is the correct, you have to put in the age condition. You have to look at only people who are above 15 and less than 66. Or you can change the upper boundary, but 15 you should stick to. So 100 into 9211 divided by how much? 373,270. So what is the unemployment rate? It is 2.447. Can you tell me what will be the workforce participation ratio? Actually, over here, it is better if you recode it. So how many groups do we divide the sample? Can you tell me into how many groups should we divide the sample?
Sir, 4.
Why? Because there are 4 over here.
Yes.
No, we need to divide this into simply workers, unemployed, and not working. We can easily find out labor force by summing up these two. Okay, so we can recode this into one is 1. So these are workers. And then we have 91 to 99. We call this 3. These are non-workers. Oh, ঘন্টা পাত। Okay. So now can you tell me what is the workforce participation ratio?
Sir, is it 211 100,000 by 540 by the total? The number of workers by
Yeah.
the total.
Yes. So what is this percentage? Look at this. Look at this column.
So it's 56.67%.
Yeah. So the workforce participation ratio is 56 or 57, if you round off.
Yes.
What
sir.
is the labor force participation?
So 59.14.
50. Yeah, you have to add 56 and this workers and unemployed. So you'll get 59 point something. $59.14. Okay, so in this way we can calculate the workforce participation ratio or labor force participation, unemployment rate, and so on. The unemployment rate is 2.47, which is what we had calculated over here. Okay. So this is one way. Using the NSSO, we can simply group the sample. In fact, this is not this is actually not for the representative of the country. Sorry.
এই কোডগুলো কি জানতে হবে?
না না,
ও মানে জাস্ট বোঝানোর জন্য তো?
হ্যাঁ এগুলো বোঝানোর জন্য। এবার যারা জানে, যারা স্টেটা করছে তারা করতে পারবে, তাদের আরো সুবিধা। So actually the figures that we got over here, this is for the sample. Now I have done the same command, tab temp if age, okay, but I'm getting different results. Look at the number. Instead of 373, it has gone up by a huge amount, and the percentages have also changed. The reason is that we are using weights, survey, what is called survey weights. See, when we do a survey, we often oversample a particular group. That is, people from a certain group are more likely to be sampled. So that means the results will become biased. See, what I'm saying is important. So please pay attention to this very carefully. So that means the figures that I got over here, these were biased figures. They are true for the sample, but if I want to arrive at some conclusion for the India as a whole, these are not the correct figures. Because NSSO typically oversamples the poor people. What NSSO does is divide household into different income categories, and then it oversamples the poor people. To adjust for this, we have to use what is called survey weights. I'm not going into the principle of this, but once you apply survey weights, FW means that you are calculating the figures for the population. So in that case, you get a different figures. These are representative for the Indian economy. Okay, now when the 2019 results came out, and remember they came out just before a little before the elections. Elections were held in May, and then in January, some people started to say, it was leaked out in the newspaper, that the NSSO results were not being published because unemployment has gone down. So the government said that no, that is not the reason. The reason is the figures are not comparable. In the earlier rounds, when we were collecting the sample, we divided the sample into certain strata, into groups based on the income levels. So depending on income levels, we had 10, 15, 20, I don't know exactly, but we had a certain number of groups. And we took a certain amount from every income group. Okay. But in this round, the round in which people are making a fuss about, we dropped this strategy. What we did was we focused on education. We divided households by the education level of the household head. And for each educational level, we took certain people. So the sampling strategy is different. We cannot compare the two figures. If you want to compare the two figures, you have to select from the population using the same method. That is, you have to divide. The strata has to be formed using the same variable, either education or income. You cannot choose education for one round or one time point and income for another time point and then compare. Okay, the reason is that, okay, so this was the reason that the government gave. Okay, now, do you think that this is very acceptable? Hmm? Well, if you are looking at this figure, these figures, tap, temp, etc., the defense of the government is perfectly true. This is an old round. I think this is for 61. So 61 was done in 55th, 2004-5. So at that time, income was the stratifying variable. In 68, so what happened was you divided up the sample. Or let me come to here. It's easier to show over here. Let us suppose that you have 5 categories. Okay. And this is the percentage from each category. Okay. So in India, people are from different categories. So ideally, what you should have is when you sample, 12% of your sample should come from the very poor category, 25% should come from the poor category. What they actually do when they do the sample, they oversample this part. Okay. So this part is oversampled and this part is undersampled. You take more people from the poorer category and you take less people from the rich category. In case of education also, you follow approximately the same policy. Okay. So let us say this is 5, this is 12, this is 19, this is 28. This is 47 and this is 100 minus. Now I've oversampled this. Okay. So ideally, you should sample 5% from no education, 12% from primary, 19% from primary. But again, what happens is they generally oversample this and undersample this part. Okay, so you can see this part is undersampled, this part is oversampled. Okay. So now if you use this sample and you use this sample, you should get different results. That is what the government was saying. The problem is what the government said is true if you simply use a command like this, run a command without using survey weights. But when you're using survey weights, what happens is this difference is taken care of. So after you have made this calculation, what people do is the weightage of the poor people are reduced. The weightage of the rich people are increased slightly, so that you get the figure for this, not for this. So when I'm using a simple tab, the result I'm getting is true for the population, for the sample. But when I'm adding this command, then the result I'm getting is true for the population, whatever sampling methodology I'm using. I can use a stratified random sample when the strata is based on education. The strata can be based on income. The strata can be based on gender, whatever. Whatever is the basis of grouping, the result will be the same if I use survey weights to make the calculation. So the government's argument that survey weights were used, the stratified random sample was used, but the variable used for stratifying was different, so the results are not comparable. That does not work. You can adjust and get for the entire country. That will be the true results. So the figure that I've got over here is 1.92. That is what we should use. And whatever type of sampling methodology we use, if it's correct, we should always get 1.92 in this year. Okay, is there any question that you want me to ask, that you want to ask me?
Sir, so we are using the survey weight methodology to correct the oversampling regardless of the basis of classification.
Yeah. Exactly. You don't have to know the procedure or even the commands, but you should know why that this is a government defense and why this government defense is not true.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. Now since
Sir,
I've
sorry, sir.
bolo.
Sir, so the government's defense does not hold because that sort of error can be corrected very easily, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is why NSSO provides the survey weights. So you can see over here, these three things. MLT, this is the multiplier. This is the, you can see this is the survey weights. So against every respondent, you have a survey weight. Right. That is used for making the calculations. So like, for instance, if I want to find out, MPC is the monthly per capita expenditure. See, this is the mean. See how the mean has changed? The mean, the standard error, the confidence intervals, even the number of observations. Look, that has also changed. This is only 6 lakhs. But here it is how much? 97 crores. Okay, so I'll stop at this point. I'll look at the census figures. Discuss the census estimates in the next class. Now let me discuss the project issue. Okay, so what is the progress on the project? Will you be able to present on Friday?
So I
Sir,
think
Saturday
Tuesday would
আবার
be
ভাইভা
কি ভাইভা বলছো?
স্যার ভাইভা না সরি জিসি ম্যামের অ্যাসাইনমেন্ট মানে ওই গ্রুপ ডিসকাশন টাইপ একটা আছে ভাইভা প্লাস গ্রুপ ডিসকাশন টাইপ
আচ্ছা, কবে আছে?
স্যার স্যাটারডে ওটার জন্য একটু প্রিপেয়ার করতে লাগবে
ওটার জন্য প্রিপেয়ার করতে হবে। তার মানে তোমরা ফ্রাইডে ক্লাসটা অনেকেই ডুব মারবে।
স্যার না ক্লাসটা করব কিন্তু স্যার অ্যাসাইনমেন্টটা দিলে মানে এই উইকটাও অ্যাসাইনমেন্টের কাজটা করতে হবে
আচ্ছা, তাহলে কি তোমরা সামনের টিউসডে করতে পারবে?
yes, sir. That was the date you were saying. Yes, sir.
Okay. So you have to submit the write-up and the assignment in the next class.
ওকে স্যার
Okay.
So this is by Tuesday, right?
Yes.
Okay.
এটা খাটো অনেক দিন তো হয়ে গেছে। রিগ্রেশনটা করতে হবে না, রিগ্রেশনটা যখন করতে পারছো না ওটা আমরা পরে অন্য কিছু দিয়ে করে দেবো। বাট ক্যালকুলেট মানে অ্যাটলিস্ট গ্রাফিক্যাল ওইভাবে একটা দুটোর মধ্যে একটা কোডি সাম সর্ট অফ অ্যাসোসিয়েশন তোমরা একটু দেখাবার চেষ্টা করো। টেক জাস্ট 3-4 points and show whether there's any association between expenditure and the educational attainments. Okay.
Okay, sir.
আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে। So let me take the roll call again. Ritam,
Ashi sir, present.
Pratyush,
Present, sir.
Soham,
Present, sir.
Shreya,
Present, sir.
Rajdeep, Sushoma,
Yes, sir.
আচ্ছা, শ্রেয়া মণ্ডল।
Present, sir.
তোমাদের প্রচুর শ্রেয়া আছে। অভিষেক,
Present, sir.
অন্বেষা, রিতনু, মিস্টার রিতনু, আচ্ছা, বর্ষা,
Present, sir.
শিবানী,
Present.
সুকন্যা,
Present, sir.
আচ্ছা, শ্রেয়সী, শ্রীজিতা অ্যাবসেন্ট, সিঞ্জিনী,
Present, sir.
আচ্ছা, প্রিয়ঙ্কা,
present.
হ্যাঁ প্রিয়ঙ্কা, আচ্ছা, ঐশ্বর্য,
Yes, sir.
আচ্ছা, আরত্রিক,
Yes, sir.
আচ্ছা, ধ্রুব,
Yes, sir.
লক্ষদ্বীপ,
Present, sir.
সৃজনী,
Present, sir.
ঐশী,
Present, sir.
রাতুল,
Present, sir.
রূপশ্রী,
Present, sir.
সায়নী, আচ্ছা, দীপতনু,
Yes, sir.
অর্ক,
Present, sir.
অলিপ্রিয়া,
Present, sir.
দিঘি,
Present, sir.
অমিত,
Yes, sir.
তিয়াশা,
Present, sir.
শ্রেয়সী, স্বপ্নীল,
প্রেজেন্ট স্যার।
আচ্ছা, প্রতিভু,
Yes, sir.
অত্রি,
Yes, sir.
দর্পক, যা দর্পক পালিয়েছে, ইয়াশ,
Yes, sir.
সোমদূতি,
Present, sir.
সম্ভব,
Present, sir.
আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে, তাহলে তোমাদের সঙ্গে
Excuse me,
হ্যাঁ
sir.
হ্যাঁ, রাতুল বলো।
32 হ্যাঁ স্যার
হ্যাঁ,
আমাকে
রাতুল দিয়েছিল।
বললো যে আমার রোল কলটা শোনা গেল না।
না ঠিক আছে, আমি শুনেছি।
ওকে ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার।
ওকে, তাহলে ঠিক আছে, we will meet again on Friday and continue with unemployment. Okay, bye then.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.